Hello, beautiful people. It's Robyn Thomas with Resemble Me by Robyn. Welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by this here video and the title of this video, I'm going to be installing Freestyle man bun braids, and the client today is my husband. So normally we do his hair at home in between my legs, old school style with the boys all running around, but he wanted the experience. So to give him the experience, we came to the shop, brought the boys, so you'll see them a little bit in the background. For a full service, so wash, condition, blow out, and then install. So if you are interested in that, stay tuned. All right, so I decided not to include the actual wash portion of him getting his hair prepared for this style because I have other videos of me washing, conditioning, and blowing out hair that has been thoroughly explained. And I do have it too on like the kinkiest of hair. So his hair isn't the kinkiest, the coiliest. It is very curly, but it is I do have videos of the tightest curl, so basically type 4 hair. So if you can get instructions off of that video, it'll be effortless basically doing any other type of curl pattern or curl type. So I'll be sure to link that below so that you can see it. Yeah, so let's get into it. All right, so freestyle braids. So first off, I want to say that I am going to be speaking to you from my perspective and my perspective only. I'm not sure how other people do freestyle braids. I know for me, when I first started braiding period, I like to know exactly what you want so that I can mentally prepare myself, so that I'm not like caught off guard, so that I'm not like going slow or whatever the case. I just had to, I really wanted to do more men's braids, but I had to like get out of my head, and I had to like calm down, and I had to like breathe. So the first thing I want to say is, when it comes to freestyle braids, just take your time, literally breathe and figure out exactly what you want to do and take your time. So we're going to go through my process on how I do my freestyle braids. So first and foremost, figuring out what type of braids you want to do. I like braids that are symmetric. So I like for braids to look the same on both sides, okay? For me, that's just, it's super clean. I love super sharp. And so that's how I'm going to be explaining how to do freestyle braids. I'm not going to be explaining if you're not doing symmetry. I'm only explaining for symmetry braids. Although the things that I'm saying, some of these things can definitely be applied to freestyle braids, period. Okay, so because I do symmetry braids, the first thing I do is do a part down the middle. It is very, 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 very important that this part is as straight as possible. I have been talking this whole time, and this part of the video is sped up, and I am still not done with the center part. You have to keep in mind that some people's scalps move, like their scalps are meaty. Some people's head move, or whatever the case. You just want to make sure that that middle part is like super duper crispy, because it's literally in the middle. When a person walks up to somebody, they're gonna be like, your part cricket, fam, like what you doing? So take your time to get the base of your style as crisp as possible. I always keep some gel on my hand so to help me create crispy parts. What that does, the gel does, when you part the hair and then you place it onto the scalp and then you part again, it really helps to place those. So not only does it helps me for the part to become extremely straight, it moves those little flyaways to the right or to the left out of the way, whichever direction that you need it to go. Making sure that all the extra hair is put away whenever you're doing your braids, period, is very, very important, as you see me doing my different clips, to make sure that hair is secure. Right now, forgive me, there are going to be parts in the video where my head is like kind of in the way, but there's going to be where I do the other side and I'm really not in the way at all. So hopefully you guys can still, get what you need to get from the video. Anywho, I don't plan. The only thing I do is say it's going to be a symmetric style. And I don't plan exactly how I'm going to part it or anything. I know if I want it soft or sharp or whatever that case, but I don't really plan. I just kind of go with the flow. So I started, a braid, and then I'm literally going to go from that. So I'm not going to, I used to like part out different stuff to say, okay, well, I'm gonna do this section like this, I'm gonna do this section like this. And it was just taking up way too much time and a lot of product, especially if I'm deciding not to go through with that, or if I can see and change my mind like, oh no, I want to do this instead. So I just decided to go piece by piece, and just keep on going. So literally it's really nothing too much, when it comes to freestyling braids, only doing what's like kind of coming naturally to you. And okay, something I do want to say is choosing the side to do it on. So to start your freestyle braids on. So there are two things to consider. Okay. Depending on, well, let me just say this. There are two things to consider. You can either start with your less dominant side, so the part where you feel that you have less control over, okay, you can start with that side. That way, when you go to your more dominant side, so like for me, my less dominant side would be my left side. So if I was doing something where I'm like, no, I need this to be really intricate, but it's so hard for me to duplicate it from the right side to the left side. So I would start with my left on the left side, because I know that I have way more and faster control when I'm parting on the right side of the head, probably because I'm right-handed and that's my dominant side. But so you can either start with your less dominant side depending on how hard the style is, or you can start with your more dominant side so that you can go quickly, you can move quickly, and then you already have the base of the style. So when you get to your less dominant side, you're not trying to figure out the parting, right? All you're doing is looking and making sure it is equivalent, and it looks exactly like it does on the other side. Okay, so those are two ways to think of it. Okay, are you doing something super intricate where you want to do the left side first, where you want to like really take your time, not your left side, your less dominant side first, where you can really take your time? Or do you want to start with your more dominant side so that you can move at a good pace and just mirror and not have to really worry about setting the base of the style on your less dominant side? So that's something that's really important to think about. So I know that for my husband, he does not keep braids in for a long time. Like when his hair is in its free state, he washes his hair every day. Not like with shampoo and stuff like that, but whenever he goes to take his shower, he like puts his head in the water and let the water like drench all up and through his hair. So his hair and his scalp is used to being able to be drenched in water and just be scrubbed and scratched and whatever, whenever. So he probably is going to keep these braids in about 2 weeks at the most. So I know for me, he told me, he said, look, do something real clean. I was like, I bet. But I know I'm not about to do a ton of braids, because you're not about to keep these in for a month. And yes, my man bun braids can last a month. I have clients who keep their braids in for a month, 2 months. It just depends. But I know he's not going to keep it in too long. So I don't want to do too small of braids, but I do want to do enough to where I can show some creativity. So I'm doing some, basically kind of like adding a couple styles like that I've done together. So the braid off to the side, like the first braid that I did where it's like pushed, all the hair is pushed to one side. He loves when I do his braids like that. And he also loves stitch braids too. So I just thought, well, I'll just kind of try to incorporate some of those, but then add some little braids. And this happened as I was going. I'm like, okay, cool. So then I'm gonna add some little braids, blah blah blah. I'm do this, woo woo woo, you know, and it came out really nice. So I can't wait till you guys see the finished product. But you can see me like moving pretty slowly. I'm literally just, I'm taking my time and I'm thinking, is this what I want to do? And I'm moving and I'm going. And if I decide to change my mind, you know, I put it back up and I redo it. So you'll see that it's like a little choppy, but it's choppy because I may have parted something one way and said, I'm gonna do that. No, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. No, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. But the thing is making sure I'm doing what I know that I can do on the other side. So although you know, this is my dominant side and I'm gonna duplicate on the left side because it's my left, well, now I don't really have that many problems. But for beginners who are trying to do freestyles and symmetric styles, it just helped making sure as I'm doing the right side or my dominant side, that I will be able to do that on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that you always want to keep in mind. But honestly, y'all, I don't really have anything else when it comes to it other than taking your time, knowing when to use the products, you know, and just being creative. You know, don't be nervous, breathe, be creative, take a step back, look at some photos for some inspiration if you need to, you know, just for a base or some ideas or whatever the case may be. But yeah, and just keep going, you know, just do it and practice and take your time and it'll get easier. The more you do it, the easier it'll be, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'll come back and talk about the cleanup. But other than that, enjoy the rest of this side. And then you're going to see basically like a time lapse of me doing the left side. That's not so choppy. So I hope you guys enjoy that. I'll be back at the end to talk about the cleanup. All right, now that both sides are complete, I'm going to go in with Nairobi Wrap and Shine. I think that's what it said. Normally I use Tresemme, but I was out, so I'm just going to use this. Long as it's some type of foam, you'll be fine. Okay, so what foam does, our hair expands when it is wet. Okay, so any type of foam or water or spritz or whatever the case, the hair expands. So basically what it does is it like tightens up the style. Tightens up the style. So that's why we use this at the end. Braiders uses at the end to secure it. It's like putting a stamp on it, like signed, sealed, delivered. You know what I'm saying? So I placed that on there, and then I'm just gonna go in with the end of my rat tail comb and just kind of make sure that it's just nice and put together. Like any little flyaways or any little small pieces are in the place that it's supposed to be in. Just making sure like everything is like really, really neat, and doing it while it's on here wet, it helps to really set the style. Because after this, I'm going to put him under the dryer and let it dry in that state. So it's like molding it in a sense. Before I do that though, I always, with each one of my clients, I always start them off with their moisture routine. So I'm going to go in with my Roots moisture mist, and I'm going to spray that all over his hair and his scalp. Make sure it gets on there really good. Then I'm going to go in with my Roots hair and body oil. It's coming real soon, guys, I promise. Boom, there it is. Then I'm going to go in with my Roots hair and body oil Enhance. Okay, look at those good ingredients. I'm going to go in with that, making sure that I oil his scalp really well before I place him under the dryer. So yeah, just oiling his scalp. It is getting cold here in San Diego, so making sure the scalp is nice and moisturized. It's very, very important because it helps for the hair not to break, not to be dry and to break off. So yeah, always making sure that your hair is nice and moisturized, especially in winter times like this. I'm talking slow because I'm like, when is the rest of this going to happen? Okay, so then I just take 2 rubber bands, and I like to put a little oil on the rubber bands. I already had like some oil on my fingers. I put some after, putting the oil in his hair, just so it's not like super dry and it doesn't break. And then I'm going to have him to place this. It's really just a dome cap that we use for wigs. I put that on his hair and then sit him under the dryer until I feel that he is ready. And these are the end results. Isn't that so nice? Oh my gosh. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope that the tips and tricks that I gave you will help you when it comes to doing your freestyle braids on your clients. Let me know in the comment section if you use anything. If it works, give me a thumbs up. Share it to somebody you think may need to use it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you all so much again for tuning in. I will see you all next time. Peace and blessings.